What if the soup you've been eating for comfort your whole life is actually one of the worst things in your pantry? Not because it tastes bad, but because of what's hiding behind words like hearty, rich, and chunky on the front of the can. Those words aren't descriptions of nutrition, they're marketing. And once you see what's actually inside some of these soups, the thick, creamy, familiar ones especially, you won't look at that label the same way again. We've got 7 to avoid and 4 that are genuinely worth buying. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1. Campbell's Condensed Soups. Campbell's Condensed Soup is probably the first soup you ever ate, and that's exactly the problem. You trust it because it's always been there. Sitting in your mom's cabinet, on every grocery shelf, and every TV commercial for the last 100 years. That kind of familiarity turns your brain off. But when you open a can of cream of mushroom or cream of chicken, you're not opening a vegetable product. You're opening a thick paste that's mostly modified food starch, cream, and salt, with sodium hitting around 870 milligrams per half-cup serving before you've added a drop of water. And that half-cup serving size? That's the trick. Most people eat the whole can, so every number on that label doubles instantly. Number 2. Campbell's Chunky Soups. Campbell's Chunky has been sponsoring the NFL for decades, putting athletes on the can, selling you the idea that this is real fuel for people who actually work hard. That's a smart marketing move because the nutrition doesn't back it up. A single can of chunky beef with country vegetables or classic chicken noodle runs between 1,700 and 1,900 milligrams of sodium. The American Heart Association caps daily sodium at 2,300 milligrams for most adults. So 1 can of chunky gets you to about 80% of that before lunch. And the actual meat and vegetables, they make up less of the can than the broth and thickeners holding everything together. The chunks are real. They're just not the main event. Number 3. Progresso Rich and Hearty Soups. Progresso didn't hide the problem. They put it right in the name. Rich and hearty sounds like a promise, but in food labeling, rich means high in fat, and hearty means thickeners doing the work that real ingredients should be doing. Take the broccoli cheese variety. 1 full can delivers more sodium than 4 large orders of fast food fries, and the fat comes from cream and processed cheese, not from anything that'll actually keep you full past noon. Progresso sells this line as a step up from basic canned soup, and the packaging looks the part. But indulgent and nutritious aren't the same thing. And the saturated fat hitting your arteries doesn't care how premium the label looks. Number 4. Great value cream-based soups. $1 a can sounds like a win, especially when you're watching every dollar, and the shelf is full of fancier options you can't afford. But great value cream soups aren't cheap because they found a smarter way to make soup. They're cheap because they swapped out real ingredients for modified food starch, soy protein concentrate, and flavor enhancers that fake the taste of actual cream and vegetables. The sodium still runs 800 to 900 milligrams per serving, so they didn't cut corners there. And with only 4 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber per cup, you're not getting a meal. You're getting a salty, starchy filler that costs your kidneys more than it costs your wallet. Number 5. Lipton Instant Soup Mixes. Lipton Instant Soup is mostly just salt in a packet. Tear it open, add hot water, and you've got over 1,200 milligrams of sodium in 1 mug, because most people use the whole packet, not half. Look at what's actually in there. Maltodextrin, hydrolyzed soy protein, disodium anacetate, disodium guanylate. Those last 2 are lab-made flavor compounds that trick your taste buds into thinking there's real chicken broth in the cup. There isn't, not in any amount that matters nutritionally. Lipton markets these as light and low calorie, and that's technically true. But when every calorie comes from refined starch and sodium with 0 fiber and almost no protein, low calorie just means you're hungry again in an hour. Number 6. Knorr Soup Mixes. Knorr is sold in over 80 countries. The packaging looks clean and European, and that global reach makes people assume it's a cut above your average instant mix. It's not. Their cream of spinach and leek varieties rely on palm fat, modified starch, and hydrogenated vegetable fats to fake the texture of a real soup. Hydrogenated fats raise your LDL cholesterol, and there's no amount of European branding that changes that. And the spinach, the leek? Scroll to the bottom of the ingredient list. You'll find them buried under multiple starches and fats. The vegetable is there so they can print it on the front of the packet, not because it's actually feeding you anything. Number 7. Heinz cream soups. Heinz doesn't get the same attention as other brands, but their cream of tomato is one of the best-selling soups in the UK. And that quiet trust on the shelf is exactly what makes it worth looking at closely. Tomatoes are healthy, so tomato soup feels like a safe bet. But Heinz adds sugar on top of the cream and sodium, around 9 grams per serving, which is more than some cookies deliver. That's not a vegetable product anymore. And some Heinz varieties carry a no artificial colors or flavors claim, which sounds clean until you realize it says nothing about sugar, sodium, or saturated fat. That label claim isn't nutrition information. It's a redirect. 4 packaged soups that are actually nutritious. So now you know what to avoid. High sodium, cream-based thickeners, vegetables listed so far down the ingredient list, they're basically decoration, and front label words doing the heavy lifting because the actual contents can't. The soups worth buying do the opposite. Sodium under 650 milligrams per cup, not per can. Whole foods listed first, things like lentils, beans, real vegetables, actual meat. At least 5 grams of protein and 3 grams of fiber per serving, and an ingredient list short enough to read in 10 seconds. Dietitians consistently point to lentil soups, bean-based soups, bone broths, and organic vegetable soups as the categories that actually deliver nutrition your body can use, not just calories that leave you hungry an hour later. Number 1. Amy's Kitchen Organic Soups. Ask a dietitian what soup they actually keep at home, and Amy's Kitchen comes up more than any other brand. These are people who read ingredient labels for a living, so when they keep buying the same thing, that's worth paying attention to. Amy's lentil and minestrone soups come in under 600 milligrams of sodium per serving, and the vegetables listed on the label are actually in the bowl, not just printed on the front for show. The lentil soups deliver 8 to 9 grams of protein and 5 to 6 grams of fiber per serving, so you stay full. Number 2. Pacific Foods Organic Soups. Pacific Foods does something most soup brands skip entirely. They put real ingredients first on the label because real ingredients are actually first in the bowl. Their organic lentil soup scored a 4 out of 5 on both taste and nutrition in Consumer Reports testing, with vegetables like red peppers, corn, garlic, and cumin doing the actual flavor work, not a lab-made compound at the bottom of the list. Sodium comes in around 640 milligrams per serving, which keeps you in a manageable range. And the carton matters. Pacific Foods uses Tetra Pak packaging instead of metal cans, so there's no BPA exposure risk. And a Harvard study linked daily canned soup consumption directly to elevated BPA levels in the body. Number 3. Rao's Made for Home Soups. Rao's built its name on pasta sauce with an ingredient list short enough to read in 5 seconds, and the soup line works the same way. Flip a can of their minestrone or chicken soup around, and you'll find whole vegetables, real olive oil, no added sugar, and no artificial thickeners. It reads like something you'd actually cook at home. The sodium runs about 720 milligrams per cup, so it's not the lowest number on this list, but what's paired with that sodium is real. Fiber from actual beans, protein from real chicken or legumes, and fat from olive oil instead of hydrogenated cream. Number 4. Swanson Organic Low Sodium Broth. Swanson's Organic Low Sodium Broth doesn't look like a health food, it's just broth. But that's exactly why it belongs on this list, because at around 70 milligrams of sodium per cup, it gives you something none of the soups we've covered can. Control. Most canned soups make it impossible to manage your sodium if you've got blood pressure or kidney issues. This broth gets out of the way and lets you build the soup yourself, adding your own beans, vegetables, or leftover chicken, without blowing your daily limit before the bowl hits the table. Next time you're in that aisle, flip the can around before it goes in the cart. If modified starch or cream shows up before any vegetable, put it back.